Hello, welcome to the Rich and Simple Living. My name's Maria, and if you're new here, I vlog all kinds of home life type things, quite often cooking, but we've decided to do a little midweek chat from now on. Thought quite a nice way of getting to know us and also chat about issues, current things, or things that sort of we've been up to or involve us, whatever. But that's what we're going to be doing today. I thought today we'd have a chat. What I wanted to chat about today actually was Dean's employment. And I said, excuse me, I'm sat on my bed and I'm slipping. So Dean's employment or what's the word for it? Retirement. and how it works with universal credit and tax credits, basically whether it was worth or whether it would be worth us changing over. It's best if I give you a bit of a backdrop on all of that, because a lot of you perhaps won't know what Dean did or anything if you're new to us. Try and stop the flashing a bit, because I'm in my bedroom, all the electrical appliances run downstairs and it plays up with the sound on my phone, so I've come upstairs. But yeah, let me give you a little bit of a backdrop on it all. Dean was window cleaner. That's what he did for a living. He was self-employed window cleaner. So I used to work with him going back before we had Sean. I used to work with him. We both did window cleaning together, and we didn't claim anything. Our children were grown up. We didn't need to claim nothing. It was just us two window cleaning. Then I got unexpectedly pregnant, a surprise pregnancy with my daughter Sean. She was a late comer. So my other children were grown up. I was window cleaning with Dean. We were self-employed, and then Sean come along. So I stopped window cleaning then, and it was just Dean. And somebody, well, actually say somebody, it was while I was pregnant, and it was the midwife who was talking about, they give you all the booklets and things about benefits and all baby stuff and things like that. Well, one of them was about tax credits. Why don't we claim tax credits? Now, I always thought you had to have children to claim them, and my other children were grown up. And it turned out, to cut a long story short, that me and Dean could have actually claimed them, not all the time, because of his job and the weather. Then sometimes you'd get really bad weather and you couldn't work. Then other times you get glorious weather and you could do plenty. So it would change all the time. So it worked out that I could actually claim some when when Dean was having bad times, the weather-wise, and couldn't work. So they would adjust it. Now, I didn't know any of this, so I'd not claimed it. But anyway, we decided to claim it. The midwife had given us this information and helped us, and we claimed it, and we were entitled to some, and that's how it worked out. It was done yearly, so which was good because Dean does his taxes in the April, and it fell in line with that, so I'd got all the figures to hand and I could do it all there and then. So it fell yearly, and we just put the figures in every year. And what they did is decided whether one year you'd been paid too much because the weather was really good and he'd done too much, or maybe he'd not done enough, so therefore they would give you a bit extra. So they adjusted it like that. If you'd paid too much and they needed some back, they just took it off the following years, and then it was set for the year again. So you could ring and change it if there was something dire happened and you say your money had dropped drastically and was going to stay that way. So it wasn't unchangeable, but it was pretty much set, and that's how we worked it all the time, and that was really good. So when Sean come along, we got child tax credit as well as working tax credit. Now, I stopped helping Dean at this time because I've got this newborn baby, and I was no spring chicken when I had her. I was 45 years old when I had her, and she's only 15 now. So yeah, we'd got this child. So Dean carried on his own doing it. But over the course of time, he started getting arthritis in his knees, and one day he got up. He was all right in the morning. By dinner time, he was sat outside, can't move. He said he was sat, he couldn't move, and my knees are killing me. I'm absolutely killing. So I managed to get an emergency appointment at the doctor's. That was the days when you could actually get in and see one. So he got in there, and the very same day, they got an appointment for an X-ray at the hospital. On the same day, he had to go in the evening, but he managed to get in, and he had X-rays. Within 2 weeks, he got his results through that confirmed what the doctor thought. He got arthritis in his knees. So He was supposed to have gone back up because they said come back up and see us, but he couldn't see the one he wanted to see, so he didn't go back up. But I presume like it would be they'd give him tablets or something, but he's always just bought his own when he needed painkillers, and he doesn't really like going to doctors anyway. But it is on record that he's got this arthritis. Although since then they carried on window cleaning, but gradually over time things were getting slower and slower, and we were talking about retirement and living on our savings and retirement. So anyway, fast forward up to where we're at now. Still all this time we were getting worker tax credit and family tax credit, child tax credit, whatever it's called. Up until now, he's gradually got a bit less. There's times when I've had to go out and help him again when Sean's at school, or sometimes Sean, when she's been homeschooled, come with us, and I've had to help him. He does 1 day a week now at the moment, as it stands at the moment. 1 day a week, sorry, 1 day a month. He's got one pocket a month that is easy for him to do, or was easier for him to do, but I always have to be with him because his knees now lock up on him. He falls over, his knees lock and can't move him, and we've had a couple of incidences of this in the kitchen where he's fallen, and also now he's getting it in his fingers as he can't move his fingers. A couple of vlogs ago I was saying about showing you what gadgets we got, and I showed you the kettle. The kettle was bought for him so he didn't have to lift it, because he did drop a hot kettle last year and I thought it's a bit dangerous. So anyway, we cut right down the window cleaning. Like I say, he does this 1 day a month, which he says even that now he dreads having to do it. But some customers have paid so far up front, some like pay a block for a year. You have to honour that. You could give the money back, but he decided to honour it and got it to this 1 day a month. But he's finding that a struggle now. So we decided, well, we got the letter through about migrating over onto universal credit. So we thought, well, technically he wanted to retire. He said he'll take early retirement. We won't migrate over. We'll just leave it. We won't bother. But then talking to people, and people say to us, well, would he still be window cleaning now if he hadn't got all this arthritis? And probably so, yeah. I'm like, yeah, probably it would be, yeah, because he's a man who has to be doing something, or he gets bored easily and fed up. He wants to do something, and it troubles him now because he can't even get up a ladder. He can't climb a ladder at all. So I said, yeah, if his knees are well, and Dean will say, you know, my elbows felt all right, fingers, I'd still be doing it. Of course I would. And he used to like painting. He'd take painting jobs on as well sometimes. And he said, yes, I'll still be doing all of that. So people say to him, well, then technically, why aren't you swapping over to universal credit? Because, you know, you've not left to retire. You've actually left on ill health, and you should be swapping to universal credit and then tell them about your ill health. And it's like, oh no, because he won't be able to get PIP. People have told us to claim PIP. He won't be able to get that because he can do things for himself. It's just at times things go wrong. Like I say, when he falls over, I can't lift him. And if he drops hot water, things like that, and you've got to watch him all the time because his knees will lock and his fingers will lock. So I'm saying, like, well, he can still do things in between these episodes. You just don't know when these episodes are going to occur. So you won't really be able to get PIP. And people say, well, you've got to tell the worst days when you fill in the forms, just fill in the worst days. Oh, we don't want to go for all that. We don't want to be bothered with all of that nonsense. And then they always say no to you, and you've got to go to the tribunal thing to fight your case. And he doesn't want any of that. He wouldn't be bothered with any of that anyway. He wouldn't bother doing all that. He can't be doing with all the messing around of anything. And I'm a bit like that anyway, because I get anxious and I couldn't. It's better not to. But anyway, as for the universal credit, should we have migrated over? I haven't done. I had the letter to migrate over, but I didn't bother migrating over. I couldn't really see the point anyway, because I thought, well, we'll just live on what we got, take out any pensions that we've got and do it that way. So we'll manage all mucking together sort of thing, and manage that way and just get a bit of passive income. So I haven't done it, but everybody is saying to me, that's stupid. You should have done it. You should do it. You want to just go on universal credit. If he doesn't want to go on the PIP, then why doesn't he just tell them about his needs? Because he's actually stopped working because of his condition, and we should be telling them that at the universal credit place. You get a work coach or something, and that's who we should be telling that he can't do certain things. And if they ask for a doctor's notes, then although he's not going regular to the doctors and getting tablets off them, because he'll just take his own painkillers if he feels a need, but he'd rather not take anything like that anyway. And it's on record anyway that he was diagnosed with having arthritis only at the knees at that time. He's never since been up about his hands and that. He says, I've got it, and that's that, I'm not messing around trying to fight getting the doctors. But it is there about his knees. So there is something on record. So people say, well, why don't you apply? Why didn't he tell them this? And he's not packed up for a reason, for no reason. He's packed up because of his ill health and decided to retire on ill health, and he doesn't really need to go into all the savings and your retirement funds yet if you could go to the universal credit. So I thought about it, and I thought, I don't know, and as to this moment in time I haven't done it yet. Now, we were starting Hoppities, the business Hoppities, but I want to expand on that and do dry pet food. So I want to see about getting or trading standards. I think I've got to go through them and get a registration number when I'm ready to get it all sorted. I want to grow our own bunny treats. So I thought, well, we could do like passive incomes and bundle that together to make an income, to be seen, well, not to be seen to doing something, but to be doing something, and it'll keep him busy and we're actually doing something like that. And then who knows, maybe we'll get enough doing that not to have to draw out all the pensions and not worry about universal credit either. So we pretty much want to go it alone, really. But everybody's saying we're daft because we've paid into this and national insurance and things like all our lives. We've both got our full amount ready for the what do you call it, the pension, the government pension, if they don't change it before then. But yeah, we've both got our full amount. We've gone over the 35 years that's required, so we've both paid into it. So people say, well, you're daft then, because this is your hour of need when you want something. Why should you be using what you've got now when there's something there you could go and get, because you'd be fully entitled, you've paid in, just tell them what it is. And I've been watching all these Google things about the universal credit and the changeover, and how people don't get on with it, how horrible it is, and they're nasty to you and things like that, and that puts me off. I think, I'm nearly 61, my husband's nearly 63. We do not want to be messed around by people like that. And especially as we paid in and we're all, got everything there. We've paid in all these years. So I'm thinking, if we don't want to be messed around like that, I'd rather just leave it. But I don't know. I'm umming and ahhing about it. Should we go in and do it? I'll have to job seek. Then they said, well, you both have to look for work. Well, I'm setting up, get my words out. Setting up Hoppities. That is a bit of a mouthful, so I can be forgiven that. But I want to do that anyway. But I wanted to get it in line to start for the tax year, the new tax year, which starts on the 6th of April. So we can bring all our taxes up to date for this year and have something fresh then to start next year, rather than crossing everything over and confusing myself, because I'm not technical, neither of us are, and things like that are a struggle for Dean anyway. So yeah, I want to get it all right like that. But people, from what I can gather and what people have told me, that if I'm starting a new business, then you haven't got to keep looking for work all the time. But then I've since been told, because I'm waiting to go into hospital, I could have a doctor's note as well. But I don't want to do that. I mean, I've been waiting now, for just to see the consultant for, well, it was January of last year when I managed to get to see the doctor, but it's been ongoing for a long time. I had, just before the pandemic in 2020, the start of 2020, I had to have an emergency gallbladder operation, had my gallbladder removed, and they caused an hernia. They started an hernia off, and it grew over time. And so about a year later, I managed to go and get a scan to prove it was an hernia. I thought it was, and it did. And I knew how it had happened because the scan operator said to me, "Have you had an operation recently?" I said, "Well, yes, just last year, actually." And I told him what I'd had. He goes, "Who did it?" I said, "You lot here." So he says, "Oh, you've got an hernia, and quite a big one," he said. Well, it took me about 7 more months to get into the see a doctor about it. So the beginning of last year, 2023, I finally got to see a doctor who said, "Well, we'll see if we get you in to see a surgeon." He says, "Put you down to see a surgeon," and asked me which hospital I wanted, and I told him which I wanted, and he said, "Well, but when I've not heard a thing since. Normally, you used to get letters saying, 'Oh, we know you're on the waiting list. Just let you know that you're on it. Don't worry about it if you've not heard nothing at all.'" And it's now the following year, and I still haven't seen the surgeon. Never mind him put me forward for an operation, and the hernia is huge. It sticks right out on my waist. It's massive, and sometimes it does hurt. So, and if you stand too much, it can stretch it. If you sit too long, it hurts to bring yourself back up. So it is a nuisance, really. So yeah, people said, "Well, just get the doctor to write note, and while he's doing that to the Universal Credit, it'll remind them that he's still there waiting." Well, that's true, because you can never get in to see them, that's for sure. So I don't know. I don't want to start pulling all these sickers and all this nonsense. And you hear it all over the news. Everybody's sick and claiming this and claiming that. I'd rather just forget it all. I don't want all this government nonsense. I can't be doing with it. I've no faith in any of it anyway. So I don't really want it. So I don't know. As at this moment in time, I don't know. Should the swap to the Universal Credit, should do that? If I did, maybe I'd just wait till the start of the new tax year and say what businesses I want to do, the business I want to do. I probably would have to mention that, I'm waiting for an operation, because when you're on these things, if you go in hospital, things like that, you have to tell them. So I probably would mention I'm having to do that. I don't want to sort of hide it and not say I'm not doing that, but I don't want it to be the reason why I'm there anyway. So if I get a decent one you can talk to, that wouldn't be so bad. See, like I was saying, I've seen all these horror stories by watching them on YouTube, but then I've spoken to people who actually claim it, all different reasons, not all the same as us, all different reasons for different things, and they have positive stories to say about it. And so they've got good work coaches, and they see the same ones, and they're good work coaches, and they get to know you, you sort of get to know them, and it's all right. They're pretty good to work with. So that makes me feel a bit more positive. So I don't know, should I be claiming Universal Credit, Dean, or should we just live on our savings and start pulling out our insurances? And so it is proper early retirement. It's not all that early, really. Dean's only got 4 years till he actually does get retirement. So that's it. I just thought, well, we'll have a chat about that today. I mean, loads of people in that situation. Maybe some of you are in a situation like that as well. And if any of you have got any good advice for us, drop it in the comments. We'll certainly welcome it. We've got no experience of anything like this at all. Like I say, we did tax credits, and we could have been claiming them years before we even knew we were able to. So that's how much we know about things like that. So yeah, that was easy, and I could understand that and do that all the time. But Universal Credit, I have no experience of it whatsoever. I've never ever experienced it. So if anybody has got any good advice, or anything, well, not too horror stories, Anything positive would be good. So yeah, I thought, well, that can be today's little chat because that's sort of an ongoing thing at the moment, and that's in the forefront of my mind at the moment. Every day I wake up and I think about it, and I think, should we be doing this? Is that the right thing to do till we actually reach retirement, or you know, just before? I mean, I certainly don't want to start going back to full-time working and everything again now, because one, well, Dean won't be able to cope with it anyway. It only gets worse, all this arthritis, certainly in this kind of weather. And this morning he was saying how much his hands are hurting him. So, you know, it won't do any good to go into that. And so we're in our 60s, we do not want to go back to a full-time work environment now. So yeah, and not if we don't have to anyway, because we've got the money that could just tick us over till then. So that's the issue at the moment. But is it right for us to claim universal credit? I don't know. Everybody says that I know, that I speak to physically, say yes, you should be claiming it, and you know, it's your right to claim it. You should be going and doing it. And they say to me, well, what's worst anyway? If you get too uncomfortable about it all, or you don't want to do it, you just close your claim down. You can just close it down there and then, and that's it. They're off your back if you're feeling that they're on it. So that's it. That's today's little chat, and just thought, like I say, that's something current with us at the moment, and it might be current with a lot of you, especially if you're still on working tax credits, because by the end of this year they'll all be migrated over. So I'll let you know what we decide to do about it, or if we ever do decide to do it, and how it's all worked out. I could see I'll probably go one day, have one interview, and then I close it down the next day. I don't know. I'm unsure about it all, to be honest. I'm unsure about it all. I just feel like, I don't know, a bit like being a puppet on a string, I suppose, and they're the ones pulling the strings, and you've got to dance to their tune. And I don't go with that. I'm too free-spirited. But no, I just don't see the point of that at our age anyway. So while we can still move around and got health, I just feel that we should be going enjoying that time, because by the time Dean gets to 67 and claims his actual pension, how do I know he's not even going to be in a wheelchair? I don't know that. He doesn't know that. So I certainly don't want to push him in it sooner. Push him in it. Have him go into one sooner than he has to. Oh well, we'll leave it at that for today, I think. And that's this week's chat. We'll have some more chats again over the coming weeks of different things and how things are going, and things that are affecting us, or things that are in the news, topical things that you feel a bit about. So yeah, we'll do that over the coming weeks. Now, my next video is going to be on Friday, and I am got something already in mind to do for Friday, and Friday is St. David's Day, so we're going to be cooking something a little Welsh. So until Friday, take care of yourselves. Bye.